Okay. Yo, what's up guys, Insane Game Freak here. I don't usually do Hunter x Hunter episode reviews, but I'm gonna go ahead and say this right now. Expect a live reaction next week. I think a lot of people are gonna do live reactions because they know how this shit is gonna go. But I need to talk about this before the next episode happens. And for those who want to know, this is anime only. I have not read the manga. If you are not caught up to the anime, do not watch this. Moving on. So, I haven't really talked about Hunter x Hunter since that, the Gon versus Pedo Concerns video. And a few things have changed. But there is something I want to go ahead and mention. I am very cringe-worthy excited for next week. Let me explain what I mean by that. Have you ever... I'll put it this way. It's like... This is a spoiler for One Piece, so if you don't want to know, you know. It's kind of like watching Marineford over again, knowing how it ends. It's that mindset where the arc itself is cool as shit, but that ending is not something you necessarily look forward to because you know how bad it is. Not in terms of quality, just in terms of the feels bad. I feel like that's what Gon versus Pedo is going to be. Now, the thing about Hunter x Hunter is that Hunter x Hunter has always been on this whole cliched as fuck, mind fuck. Like, that's kind of the pattern. It's like cliched as fuck, mind fuck. Cliched as fuck, mind fuck. Like, and what I mean by that is like the setup for Gon versus Pedo has been foreshadowed since she fought Kite. Okay? Just like the King versus Netero. Foreshadowed to death. Alright? The mindfuck usually came when we got to those points and we were like, oh shit. Pedo was pretty nice at breaking it down that, you know, Kite is dead, considering all things. And the King, we didn't expect to go through some type of... Well, no, let me rephrase that. I wasn't shocked about the kind of reform from Kumagi. I was more shocked in that conversation Netero had with Meruem, which I believe is how you pronounce his real name. Which confused me because I don't know if I got this, if I was the one who got this vibe, but did anyone get the vibe that Netero started feeling like the villain in that situation during that conversation? And I'm talking about the conversation before they start fighting. When Meruem's like, listen, I don't want to just kill all humans. Listen, I understand the importance and the value of humans. I will allow you to live in your own personalized section of the world, and I will put like high class humans. Like he wanted to sit down and negotiate. It's kind of like what shonen heroes say when they want something really ridiculous from someone else, but they can't necessarily justify their actions. And so they just want to sit down and discuss it. That's what it felt like. Meruem felt like a Shonen Jump hero trying to get something from someone in that scene. And Netero came off as the villain. Because it got to the point in which I looked at Netero and I was like, yeah, Netero, why can't y'all just sit down and talk? And granted, I know the general reason why, but I was curious. I was curious what his reasoning was, which is why I'm a little mad that he never really talked about it. Because, I mean, you can kind of guess from everything else. I'm just saying, I kind of wish Netero had told him. But I guess that goes back to that whole theme of, if I start treating you as a human, then there comes that emotional problem and that divide between humans and chimera ants. It's something stabbing my back, so don't ask why I keep reaching back here. So that was the whole thing. The only thing about the Netero-Meruem fight in general that bothers me isn't even anything in the fight itself. It's more so how much damage Meruem took and the memory loss. Those are like the two things that bug me. One, considering how little damage Netero could even do on him, it confused me why the explosion did so much. And a lot of people are going to say, well, because this explosion caught him off guard. But I'm like, dude, maybe it's just me, but in a lot of Shonen Jump mangas, you have these main characters do so much ridiculous shit. The concept of a bomb or guns or swords and shit doing so much damage, doing more damage than the ridiculous attacks they're using, comes off as a little off to me. So maybe that's the reason. But I still think that fucking explosion did way too much fucking damage to Meruem. I think it did way, like, he should not have been reduced to that state. And then what made it weirder is the memory loss, which I was like, what is the point for the memory loss? Now granted, the arc isn't over, so that can easily change. I'm just saying, as of right now, the memory loss seems kind of like padding, like you wanted to give Poof some time to do some background evil shit. By the way, I think it's a group consensus. No one likes Poof and he needs to die. Like that's just that is a fact. We just want that nigga to die. And now, but we get to the Gon and pedo thing, and as I said, this is where the cringe shit's been coming. Like for the last probably like 10 to 20 episodes, they've been like slowly building up on this pedo Gon thing. And every episode I've watched, I've gotten worse and worse nerves. And what I mean by that is like I've had moments where I know the episode's coming. I try to put it off, act as if I don't want to watch it. I know I want to watch it. I don't think I'm emotionally prepared for what's going to happen. It's that cringe-worthy hype. That's where I'm at right now with Hunter x Hunter. That doesn't mean anything about the writing or anything. Actually, it means it's good writing, because if you got me cringing just from the prospect of what I'm about to see, that means you have effectively set that shit up, alright? And I think that's I think Togashi's just really good with that, at least with Hunter x Hunter. Building this ridiculous amount of tension over like the course of like a fuck ton of episodes and chapters. Because the tension is ridiculous. The tension hurts, man. It's getting real thick. As far as the episode is concerned, though, I like the way Gon reacted to it. The one thing I really hoped he didn't do was just go full rage mode right after the fact. I'm glad that when she told him, and I like the way she told him, and I like the way he reacted, because he just broke down and started crying. But I will agree with something I kept seeing in the Crunchyroll comments, and something I was feeling at the same time, but I wasn't sure if it was just me. This probably would have, the Kite death probably would have been emotionally more painful, and a lot of people even said this in the manga, if they had did, from what I heard in the manga, which is have like the first chapter be, I heard that in the first chapter of the manga they actually show the Kite flashback with him and Gon, and how Kite was the inspiration for Gon to become a hunter. The problem I have is from what I understand, that's like the only flashback of Kite. To me, that really wouldn't have cut it anyway. And if there's a flashback, if it wants to pull a One Piece and do the flashback after the arc, that's whatever. The problem is that, I mean, that works too. I mean, I'm not gonna say it doesn't work, because it worked for One Piece. I don't see why it wouldn't work for Hunter x Hunter. I'm just saying, Kite's death doesn't feel as meaningful, at least in the anime, to be perfectly honest, because there was really no build-up for it. It's kind of like the character died and he was introduced maybe like 10 to 15 episodes before that. And you were just kind of like, well, I like the character, I mean, it was still a mindfuck. I mean, granted, when I saw that character die, it was a mindfuck. But it didn't mean as much as it should have to like, I don't know, it kind of has Ace Syndrome to me. Where it's like, and granted, Ace Syndrome, it was the same thing. Where I felt more bad for Luffy than I did actually about Ace dying. But then again, the difference is that the way Ace died still comes off even now to me kind of aggravating, because he kind of caused his own death in a sense. Because he decided to be a stubborn jackass and get himself killed, because that was kind of his fault. Like if you look at it objectively, it's like you were running away and you stopped just because the man badmouthed Whitebeard. And I'm like, if you would have just left this shit alone, you would have been fine. But no. Protect the daddy issues, you piece of shit. I don't mean to rag on it, but it does. That's the one thing about Ace's death that annoys the shit out of me. As I say, Ace's death to me is more important for Luffy than it is about Ace in general. Same thing I think is the kind of the case with Kite's death. That it's more important for Gon than it is actually about Kite. Like when it really boils down to it, I don't care about Kite that much. I mean, I care about Kite to an extent. I just don't care about Kite that much. That's how I feel about Kite. Now, anyway. Same thing with Ace, actually. It's like I like Ace, like I like Kite, but I don't like them to that extent. Granted, if they do a flashback, like I kind of hope they do, I would like the character more, because like with Ace, they did the full flashback with him and Sabo and shit, which made me like his character more, because we kind of got to see the growth and build up for it. Whereas if Kite is just left as is, and they give us like the first episode flashback, that might do it, but you know, it's still not as meaningful, because it's like Kite, it's like how long, like even in the manga, was Kite around long enough for it to really make that big of an impact, or was it just that one instance that changed everything? That's pretend like the shit that happened with Shanks and Luffy was just one episode and Shanks wasn't there all the fucking time like we know he was. would that have been as big of an issue? But I don't know. I don't know. The kite thing, as I said, it's not as important as Gon's reaction to it. But still, it's like I felt like Kite is more used as a catalyst than anything else to build for Gon's character. So we got the fight coming up next week. And as I said, I'm happy about the way they took it, where he actually did break down into tears and tripped out. Because I didn't notice something until this episode. This episode is the first time we've seen Gon's pupils in like a while. And maybe there were in other episodes that I didn't notice. But like, just that character, Gon has been so disconnected from me for like so long right now. I'm just like, shit, I saw the man's pupils. Jesus Christ, there's color in his eyes. Thank God. Like, that's how bad he's been, like, emotionally. Not like as a character, I'm just talking about emotionally. I haven't seen that man's pupils in forever, man. That should have been a segment. Where did Gon's pupils go? It's like Sawyer's Where the Hell is Itachi segment. Oh shit, that's a weird reference because I never really referenced Sora like that, but that's what it reminded me of. Where the fuck are Gon's people? Oh, I'm stupid. I don't know. I think my biggest caveat with the series right now is just that as I said, the shit about the memory loss with the king may be really explained further into the story. I'm just saying as of right now, that memory loss thing feels like padding. And the fact that I still hate Poof. But seriously, I hate Poof. Like, Poof can go down a ditch. That's just me. I don't know how you guys feel. But me personally, I hate that character. I understand his importance and what he's meant to be there for. But as I said, my biggest aggravation right now is the whole that memory loss thing bothers me because I feel like it was padding just to do this other shit with Poof. And I'm not saying the Poof stuff isn't justified. I'm just saying it's like I say, it's like when you have everything as high quality writing and then you have this one thing that dips down for a second, it bugs the shit out of you more than it really should because everything's been so fucking tight. It irks you. It's not really that bad, but it just irks the shit out of you. You're more willing to accept holes if there's been kind of like casual holes throughout the series because at least it's consistent with itself. But when you have a fucking plot that's so air fucking tight like that, and you have these few cracks, it's like the cracks are way more noticeable than they really are in the long run, but it just feels like it. And that's what this whole memory loss thing feels like to me right now. As I said, expect a reaction next week for that fight, but just, oh god. And also, please tell me in the comment section if you guys are like me with that whole cringing thing where it's like, you know how, like, you're paranoid about how the episode's gonna go, like, it's gonna get to that point? Because everyone and their mom has, like, hyped the shit out of this fight. And, like, I'm expecting the fight itself to be cliched. I'm expecting the end of the fight to be a mindfuck. That's what I'm expecting. Is the fight itself to be what you would expect any normal Hunter x Hunter fight to be. But that ending of the fight is going to be the fucked up part. Because I'm assuming Pito's probably going to die. Like, I know there's another arc after this, and I know Gon is fine. So I know Gon won't die from this. Also, considering how he fought in Greed Island in that fight was ridiculous. But at that point, that fight was like one of the, to me, the Greed Island, like the Bomber fight is like one of the best fights. That is still one of my favorite fights in the series. So, and considering how Hunter fights go, it shouldn't be that long unless it's just going to be a straight out shonen, I don't give a fuck, power up, punching every goddamn where fight, which is what it might be, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see, but that's just kind of my thoughts. I guess you can call this a review / discussion, update, whatever. But yeah, expect a live reaction next week, and we're going to see how this fucking goes. I fear. The only thing I'll say is that after the fight happens and I see the ending of the fight, I'll be like, fine, we're past it. I don't have to cringe anymore when I watch these episodes. It's been so nerve-wracking. You don't even fucking know, yo. It's like, I'm the kind of guy who I don't mind gritty, rough stuff, but it irks me when I have to wait a week for it. Like, if I can marathon it, I'd rather just marathon it. No, bitch, you get to watch you have to wait a week, bitch, before you can see it. And you're just in the background like, but anyways, that's just my thoughts. So please leave yours in the comment section below. This has been the Insane Game Freak. Life's a game, play to win, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.